So today I am working on a junk journal cover, and this is just a book that I cut out the actual pages of the book, and I'm just going to recycle the cover into a journal cover. So I originally thought that I was going to just ink this and use some gold on it and leave it like that, but I didn't like it when I started decorating. So I've got an idea. So what I want to try is this Stamperia heavy body paste, and I'm going to be using this Stamperia stencil, and let me see if I can figure out what name this stencil is. I tell you what, I don't see a name on it, but I will link it below because all of this came from the Rubber Buggy. So it's the rubberbuggy.com, and I will link to this as well as to this, so it would be just easy to go straight to the link and you can see where to get it. And so I started to open it, but then I thought I needed to save the packaging so you all would see what the packaging looks like. So I did accidentally tear it. So let's just go ahead and get it open, and then let's get started. All right. It's not that hard to get out. It's just taped on. I didn't see that. Okay. So it's just a little stencil here. I wish I could remember the name, but I thought it would make a good design on here. So I have an idea how I'm going to do this. So I just want to... This is going to be covered up with some fabric, so it's okay if some of it gets over here. But I want to line it up so that it's coming off the edge of the book here, and then I'll do some down here as well. So let me get my heavy body paste open. Let me see if I need to shake it first. It doesn't say anything about shaking it. I don't think I need to, so I'm just going to open it. I haven't tried this one yet. I normally use other texture paste, but I wanted to try something different, and so I thought I would try this one. I'm just wanting to try some different mixed media stuff this year, and of course I go and break my finger right when I want to start doing mixed media. And when I do mixed media, I love to use my fingers, and so that is part of the problem with having a broken finger. I can't get this as dirty as I normally would get. So let's just see. I've already got it all over my fingers. Let's see. Let's just get started here. I think I'm going to have it go off the edge onto this, since this is going to be covered up. I don't know what size I want to use. I started with this one, but I think that's too narrow. So let's try this size first. And that one's too little. I like this one. Let's try this one first. So I am just going to go over the edge a little onto the part that's going to be covered up with fabric, just so it looks like it's running off the edge here. Okay, so I love the feel of this already, so I can't wait to see how it dries. I like the thickness of it. And I don't think it has to be perfectly straight since it is swirls. This is going good so far. I can't wait to lift it and see what it looks like, but I've got to get all this down first before I lift it. And it doesn't have a strong odor either, so I like that. It has a little odor to it, just like any texture paste would, but nothing that's going to give me a headache or anything. So I like that. I don't like anything with a really strong smell. So let's see here. Just keep adding. And it's okay if it runs off the edge, because I'm okay with that because I want it to look like this pattern is running off the edge. Trying, if you notice on my channel, I'm trying several different things this year, some different projects. And mixed media is one that I want to try. Well, I want to try more. I've done mixed media in the past, but not as much on my channel as I just did mixed media, and I love doing mixed media. I've just gotten away from it for a while, so I'm just trying to go back to it some. And I'm okay with that getting over there because it's going to be covered up anyway. So this is the thing, I just want to be sure I lift this correctly, and it's so hard with this finger to do everything that I'm used to doing. So let's just see. I'll lift it slowly, since this is something I've never used before and I want to be sure I get it. Oh, that looks great. Oh, I love that. So I'm going to take a clean one here and I'm just going to scrape this off here because I did go a little bit past my stencil, which that's okay. Let's just rub that off and then we'll add the stencil back. I should have put some wax paper underneath so I didn't ruin my mat, but that's all right. No stress. This is okay. I can always wash the mat. Now I do have to decide how I'm going to add this without causing any issue on this. I wonder if I should wait till it's dry and then add it. Oh, don't hit it. Okay. So I'll tell you what, while I'm trying to figure that out, let me take the edge here and just smooth this off before it dries. Just going to run a line down through here, just getting that off because it did run over the edge and we don't want that hanging over. And I don't want to mess it up like I said before. So what if we just go right in there. Actually, I'm going to wait for it to dry and then I'm going to add my next line because I really don't want to mess it up. So while it's drying, I am going to close up my heavy body paste because a lot of texture paste and stuff will tend to start drying out. So you do. And then I'm going to go get some wax paper and put it down and I'm going to be right back with you. Okay, so it's not totally dry yet, so it's not ready for me to paint or do anything, but I think it's dry enough now that I can add the rest of my stencil to the bottom. It's still kind of tacky, but I don't think it's going to affect, and at least I hope it's not going to affect what I've already got done. So it is just a little tacky still. And I did go wash my stencil while I was waiting because I didn't want it to dry on my stencil. Trying not to overlap. I can see underneath and I'm trying not to overlap, but I'm not going to stress it either because I don't think it's going to show up that much. The way I'm going to do this, decorate it, I don't think it'll show up that much anyway if I overlap. We'll see. I might can scrape it off if it does anyway because I'm going to paint this or I'm going to add some color to it. I'm not sure exactly what yet. I'm going to try a few things and see. I'm just experimenting today. I think that will be fine. I do see a spot that I don't like where it overlaps, so I'm just going to scrape that off. And I'm going to scrape the edges here like I did before. Just get some of that raised off there. Okay. You can always see that this looks a little bit different than this as far as where this is drying and this is wet. It's just my color is showing through better once it dries. Okay, so let's go ahead and rewash that stencil and then I'm going to let this air dry and I will be back in a few minutes hopefully. I'm not sure how long it takes. Like I said, I've never used this one before, so I'm just testing it out. Right here I can press on it and it's fine. That's why I was using this where it's kind of a slicker feel. It doesn't feel like the texture paste, but I do like the feel of it. So let's just leave that while I go wash my stencil and I'll be back with you. So I'm just wanting this for the texture. So I'm going to go ahead and gesso over it before I start adding color to it. So I'm going to have this as the texture in the background. Well, that is the plan if it works out. So I'm just using some white gesso lightly over the top because I don't know how this one takes color and paint, but it had a kind of a slick feel to it. So I just want to put gesso over the top so that everything kind of takes this paint the same way, so that you don't see the back, the actual cover. I'm afraid that it may take paint different than the texture paste or the heavy body paste. And so I am just going to gesso the whole thing so we can have an even color hopefully. And then you'll just have the texture of this stencil in the background. And once again, I'm going to cover this up so it's okay that it's running over. I'm not worried about that. And the color that I added before, you can see with this gesso is running. It's coming through, but that's okay. I'm not trying to go white anyway. So I'm just trying to get it in there real good. Feel like I missed a few spots in there, inside those swirls. And then we'll just let this dry and we'll come back and we'll do another layer of color now. So I'm going to start out with this Tuscan teal blue. And if I don't like it, I'll just wipe back over it and try again. I'm having a hard time deciding which color to use for this journal. This is a blue journal that I'm doing, but I'm trying to match some colors in the cover as well. And I'm trying to decide, do I want to go dark like this, or do I want to go with some of the lighter? See, this is in the fabric as well. This color is. Maybe I should start with the lighter and work my way up. That way, if I don't like the lighter color, I can add the darker. It's always easier, I think, to go darker than it is to go lighter again. So let's just try that and see. I'm just going to brush a little. Oh, this is a little bit different color blue than I thought once I get it out here, but that's okay. Let's just see. Because like I said, I don't want the swirls to stand out from the actual background of the cover. What I'm trying to do is just have a textured background like this book, making it like the cover came with a texture on it. So let's just go with this basic blue first. It's nothing spectacular or gorgeous, but we're going to add some more things to it. Let's just get a basic color on first and start somewhere. It's probably going to need several layers anyway of color. And as you saw at the beginning, it had some gold on it, and I may go back and highlight the swirls just a little bit with gold, or I may highlight them with just some white gesso. I'm not sure yet. Just kind of working my way through this. This is how I do projects sometimes. I have an idea in my head, but I just have to work through it to see how it's going to turn out. And it's kind of hard when you do something like this, when you have a actual book like this that I'm altering, because you can't like do a sample and then come back and do it. I guess I could have done a sample on some cardboard or something, but I just wanted to see how this book was going to react and do. But that's the great thing. These books I get out of the free bin a lot of times, or pay like 50 cents for, or $1, really cheap at my local used bookstore. So they actually have a free bin outside for books that they think they can't sell, but when people donate them, they just put them in the free bin that you can take home with you. So that's where I get some of these from, to try and do test on and alter. And I thought this was a good size for the journal that I'm working on, so I wanted to try it. So it feels good and dry, so I'm just going to add another coat of this blue first, and then I think I will go in with some other blues to highlight it. Okay, so that coat has done a lot better coverage, so let's let it dry and we'll see what it looks like once it's dry. Okay, so I do like this coat on here, but I still want to try this color. So I may just have to go back and gesso over it if I don't like it, because I've been putting thin layers, so it's not going to hurt it. I'm going to get a different paintbrush, I think, and try something. I don't know if it's going to work. Just get a little bit of this blue here. This is the Tuscan teal. The other one was sky blue. Okay, so what if... I may need a wider brush for this. Trying to just use a dry brush here, just to dry brush it some, but I do think it's going to be a bigger one to do this. I do like that a little bit better. Let me try with this one. Actually, I think I'm going to coat it with this whole color. I do like this color. Okay, so I'm going to go back with one more good solid coat of the Tuscan teal, and then we will see if it's ready to embellish. Okay, so here is the cover, and it's pretty much dry. And this is the fabric that I was wanting to use on the cover. And then I was wanting to have this laid across there. So let's just see how that's going to look. I do like that. So now I'm wondering, would I want to go back and highlight the texture any. Or should I leave it like that? Let's highlight just a little right here with some wax that I have, and let's just see how that looks. Okay, so I was asking my husband's opinion, and so I did highlight just a little here to see, and I do like it. So let's just highlight sometimes I have to ask others' opinion because I can't decide on my own, but I do like this highlighted with the gold. Now, I did forget to add any type of item like this to my cart this last time when I ordered from the Rubber Buggy, so I don't have any from them, but they do have different, what's the word? Waxes. I don't know if you call it wax. I always call it wax, but I'm not really sure that's what it's called. Like this, that you can highlight things, and I will link to those as well that you can. So I really love how this has turned out. I just wish I wish you could see the whole effect of it on camera. It's really hard to see. And so here's the fabric again, and I don't think it has any direction. So I think this is going to look good. So I'm just going to go through here, and I am highlighting some with my distressed ink, and then I'm just going to rub it a little bit just to blend it in just a little, everything, and I think that is good. I like that. So you've got the gold and the blues, and then right back on top is a little bit more blue. So I think this is mostly dry now, so I'm going to go ahead and add gesso to the top of it. And I thought I would show you me doing the back as well, because the front I was experimenting with and trying different colors. And so the back I'm going to show it with since I know exactly what colors I'm going to use, and I think it'll be easier to follow, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'm just going to cover all this with gesso just so that everything takes paint the same. I probably could have just painted over it, but I'm afraid that the heavy body paste will not take paint the same as the book cover, since they are two different types of materials. And like I said with the front, this is going to be covered up, so I'm not really worried about what I get on it. So I'm not going to try not to get anything on it. So I'm just doing a quick coat. And overlook all that noise in the background. That is our coffee maker. And it's quite loud when it gets close to the end. Trying to get in those grooves there where the swirls are. So it's dry now, so I'm just going to go back with the Tuscan teal. So on the front one I did the light blue. That's not necessarily necessary. It was just because I was trying to decide the color. So I will have to put several coats of this Tuscan blue before it will be dark enough. But I'm going to get started, and we will see how many coats it actually takes. Okay, so here it is with the second coat. I'm going to leave it open like this so we can kind of compare and make sure we're getting the front and back matching. So now I'm just going to add the wax, and like I said, this is just some I had on hand. I forgot to add some to my cart for the Rubber Buggy, but I have some in there, not like this one, but it's a tube of, I forgot what brand, but I'll link to that because I think that would work just as good as well. So I'm just going to rub this in. You'll have to work it. Sometimes you get a dark spot and a light spot, but that's okay. I like to use my finger for it. If you have better ways, let me know, because I've always just used my finger to do this. Then I'll take a paper towel and I'll blend it out a little bit more. But that's how I've done it. And I'm just going to blend out. Let's take this paper towel and just blend a little bit right now, because it's starting to get a little dark, isn't it? So just want to get it rubbed in real good here. And I'm kind of changing my mind on the fabric that I showed you at the beginning. Since I've been waiting on this to dry, I did go pull out some other fabric, and now I'm trying to decide which fabric to use. So we will see when I get to putting it together which one looks the best. So let's get all this rubbed in. And I'm just going to take this paper towel And I'm just going to knock it down a little bit and just kind of blend it in a little bit more. So hopefully we don't have some dark and light spots. I know with the lighting it looks like I do, but in person it's a bit different. The light shines up here and makes it look like it's more, but I don't think it is. So you can see, depending on how you turn it, how it's going to look. I do need a little bit right in here. Okay. I want to go back just a little bit more. Kind of just swirl it in a little bit. Okay, so I'm liking how that looks. And now I just want to take and go back with my it's Mermaid Lagoon, and they have this at the Rubber Buggy as well. It comes in a 4-pack, I think. I have 3 left. My dog ate my yellow one, and I did research it was non-toxic, but I would try to keep it away from your small pets because it does seem a bit dangerous for them to be eaten. I panicked, but it said it was, I looked it up online and it said it was non-toxic, and she has been okay, but it did scare me. So I'm just going to go down and I'm just rubbing this down like this, back and forth with my ink pad. And so what it's doing is it's just highlighting those swirls, as you can see. And then I'm just going to take my paper towel and I'm just going to rub it just a little bit to kind of blend it and knock off some of the extra. And there we go. And I love that. And the front and back do look pretty much the same. So that's great. Sometimes you can do one side, not the other, the same, but these seem to have worked out. And I wish you could see it in person because it looks so different, the gold does, and the way the swirl looks. It's hard to get the lighting right. So now I was trying to figure out, so I had that blue that I was going to use, and then I love to use canvas, and I wondered if the canvas would look even better than the floral. Let me see here. I just went back with the canvas, trying to fold it in so we can kind of get an idea of what it would look like with our, I really want to use this. I really want to use this little dolly piece. So now I have to decide the canvas or, let me see here. My tape keeps getting hung on this fabric and it's pulling it loose. Okay. The canvas. Like that. I think that's kind of elegant looking, kind of, I don't know, kind of like it. And then let's see here. I could cut a strip off so we kind of get an idea. I kind of do like that. So now I've got to make a decision. So I'm going to make the decision and I'll come back with you. Oh, I also wanted to show you that I went ahead and I've just roughly painted on the inside here because I am going to cover up most of that, but this edge was going to show and I wanted to match the front. So we have the covers completed and dry, and so now I'm going to put the fabric on the spine, and I'm trying to decide if I want it to fold over, or I am going to put some fabric on the inside as well, so this is going to be covered up. So I'm not sure if I want it to fold over or if I want to keep it kind of ragged. So just trying to decide real quick what look I want. I think I want it folded over. So I'm going to start out by just measuring what size fabric I actually need. Just hold it right here. I do want it to hang over just a little on each side. So let's see here. Right here's a good, okay. Just fold that in half here so I can kind of follow the line. I don't worry about it being perfect because this is a junk journal I'm making. So I kind of like my junk journals to be a little junky, but I do like them to be pretty too, so I want it to be really pretty. So I don't want to be junky in a bad way. Okay, so I think I will fold just a little of this edge under, kind of like this when I do it, and glue it down. I'm not sure yet, because this side's already got a little fold or bend to it. Or I could fray it. Let's just fray it and see. I've got another little piece here if it doesn't work out. So here we go. Let's just fray that edge a little. I don't like just the plain cut edge, but I do like when I fray them. Okay, that's getting better. Just get some of that fray in there just by pulling on it. I'm going to just trim the longer strings off, and I do like that. Okay, so this side I want to do the same thing. I want to fray it instead of rolled over. So I'm going to have to just trim it just a little. Let's see here if I can just trim a little bit on the edge here. I should have just cut and ripped it, but I didn't. And it's so hard to use scissors with a finger like this, so I'm trying. So don't try to overlook my awkwardness with it. Okay, so we got those edges, got some fray going on. Alright, so now we have that, got it frayed, and so now I'm just going to add it to my cover. So I'm just going to add the Fabri-Tac right here to the, directly to the cover. I'm just going to do one side at a time so that I don't have so much glue that I don't have time to get it all down. So if you notice, I went past the glue because I'm going to come back and add some glue, but I like to do that so that it gives me the option too. But I want to get most of it down and then I do that. I don't know why, but it always just, for me, that's how I like to do it. Okay, and so then I'm just going to come back in here with some more of the Fabri-Tac, just working it into all the little grooves and stuff here where this book is old. You know, it's got some bends and stuff in it, so I want to make sure I get the glue really good down in it. And then once again, I'm pressing everything flat because this book is very flexible at the moment. And when I sew my journal in, I think I will come back with a little bit more lace, but we won't add the lace until after that so we can hide our sewing. So then I'm just going to go right here to the edge, and I'm just going to add a little bit more glue. Same thing here. I think it's squished out enough that I don't have to do it on this side. The glue squished far enough over. So let's just fold it and see what we have so far. And I do like that. Making sure my edges are looking straight somewhat. And then okay, so I like how that looks. And I do have another one of these to go on the back. I'm going to have to dig it out, but I'm just going to add that to the front like that. And I was trying to figure out what decoration to put on the front because I originally was going to put some more things on the front, but I think this looks good just like this. So now I'm just going to add this doily. So I'm just going to add glue to the more solid lines so that it will stick down. Because there's a lot of holes in doilies and things like this. And this came from, the fabric and this doily came from DC Scrapping Rooster on YouTube. She used to have a Zibbet store, but Zibbet doesn't exist anymore, so she sells her items like this on YouTube. Okay, I'm going to have to pull this up. The edge of this is not covering up. There we go. I didn't have it quite far enough over. Okay, so let me see here. You actually could decide which side you like the best, and then that could be your front or back, I think. Okay, there we go. So, just going to add this here. And kind of going to do it on the edge there. I want this coming over quite a bit, but I want it to be that just got a little spot in my head that I want this whole thing. And I'm trying to kind of center it up and down. And then adding it right in here. Let's push this up a little bit. There we go. And I love that. Love how that looks. So then I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to, I've got glue all over my fingers and I have all the paste and things. I haven't got it all going. So I'm just going to add a little bit of Fabri-Tac right in here. And I'm just going to fold the fabric over. Just doing a thin line because I just have a little bitty bit that I'm folding over. Okay. And like I said, we're going to cover all this up once we make the journal. Once we add the journal, make the journal, I still have I have a lot of pieces already made up for the journal, but I still need to put the pages together. But I wanted to work on the cover. So now we have that pressed in. I really like the front like this, and I was going to add another piece on the back, but I'm not sure that I want to now. I'm thinking about going back with the back. This is the wrong color, but going back with more of a cream colored lace and just putting along the edge here. The back and front does not have to look exactly alike. I did find the piece, but when I lay it there, I'm not sure I like that for the back. So I'm going to see what kind of lace I have for the back. I'm going to be using this pom-pom ribbon, I think is what you call it. It is from the Rubber Buggy, so I will link to it below as well. And so I'm just going to, trying to figure out the best way to put it on. So I think I'm just going to do it like this. I think that's how it's supposed to go. Let me see if I got it. Yeah, here we go. So I'm just going to add that to the edge on the back. And I'm trying to figure out which way what is the front and what is the back of it. I'm not sure that there is a front and back on this ribbon. I think it's going to go this way. I think that will be pretty. Let's see if I can get it laid out there. So I think that will look good. So I'm just going to add that. It's very tiny pom-poms. I know some people don't like pom-poms. These are really tiny. I'm not even sure you should call them. But I think that's what it's listed as on their site. So that's why I'm calling it that. If it's not, you can look below and I will just put it as ribbon so that you can see what listing it's in. So let's see here. Just want to add it like that. Get this pressed down. There we go. I like how that looks. That's kind of a vintagey look. I like it. It's not the modern pom-pom look. It's very pretty, which I like those. I like those too. I have some here. Just trying to get this on straight though. So I can hold it up so you can see it. I do like how that looks. And I could put some glue underneath it, but I think it's going to be okay. I think it's not going to interfere with using of the book. So I'm just going to trim it off at the edge here. There we go. Just got to work with it a minute to get exactly like I want it. Okay. So that's good. That looks good. I do like that. I'm going to leave that edge loose for now. If I decide that it's going to be a nuisance or it's going to come loose, but I kind of like it loose just to have that look. So for this side, I'm wondering if I cut a little piece off and put on the end there. So let's just see what that would look like. If I add just a little piece there. Yeah, we'll just cut a little piece off and see. We don't have to use it if we don't like it. But what if I put that there? I think that would look good. So I'm going to put a little line of glue and add that. There we go. And just kind of smush it in with the other doily so it looks like it all goes together. And then this one right there as well. Just attach it and then I will trim it off. There we go. I love that. I love how that looks. You never know. You have a vision, but you never know how it's going to turn out until you get done. I really love how this turned out, and I will link to all the products that I used from the Rubber Buggy. And I hope that you enjoyed seeing this technique that I used to create my cover and to alter an old book. And so I will be coming back with the journal that I'm going to add to this later on. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.